Welcome to the deep dive. Ever stop to think about how things like your city water or the local buses actually handle their finances?
It's not always straightforward, is it?
No, not at all. So today we're jumping into governmental accounting, specifically looking at proprietary funds.
Right. These are funds governments use when they're running services, kind of like a private business.
Exactly. Think of this as getting the inside track on the financial gears turning behind public services you use daily. Our mission.
To make internal service funds and enterprise funds clear, quickly, thoroughly.
Yep. We'll be looking at some financial statement examples, accounting principles, and the real nuts and bolts.
It's interesting because it shows a different side of government finance compared to, say, general tax funds.
Yep.
These funds track income and expenses to see if a service can stand on its own, financially speaking.
Okay, let's kick off with internal service funds. What are these exactly?
Well, think of them as in-house service providers. They exist purely to serve other government departments.
Ah, so like a central IK department or maybe a motor pool that fixes all the city vehicles?
Precisely. Central garages, printing shops, maybe even self-insurance pools, they usually work on a cost reimbursement basis.
Meaning they charge the department they help?
Exactly. So if the central garage fixes a police car, they send a bill to the police department.
Okay, and that billing counts as revenue for the garage fund.
Yes, it's their operating revenue.
Yeah.
And importantly, it's not an interfund transfer in the usual sense. The garage records revenue, and the police department records an actual expense.
Got it. Like hiring an outside vendor almost.
Pretty much. They can also sometimes get restricted grants, and any interest they earn is typically classed as non-operating revenue.
And expenses are just the usual costs of running the shop, labor, parts, that sort of thing.
Yep, operating expenses, plus any non-operating ones like interest payments if they've borrowed money.
So how do these funds get set up initially? Where does the starting money come from?
Often, it's a contribution or maybe a transfer from another fund, like the main general fund, or they might issue bonds, take out loans.
Okay. And financially, they report like a business, too.
Largely, yes. They'll have a statement of net position assets and liabilities and a statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position, plus a cash flow statement. You often see them rolled up in the government-wide reports.
Okay, that couples the internal guys. Let's switch to enterprise funds. These also sound business-like?
They are, but the key difference is they serve the public, not other government departments.
Ah, okay. So what makes something an enterprise fund? Is there a specific rule?
Yeah, there are usually three main criteria. An activity must be reported as an enterprise fund if, one, its debt is backed only by its own revenues.
So not by general taxes.
Right. Two, if laws require it to recover its costs through user fees. Or three, if its pricing policy is designed to recover costs. If any one of those is met, it's generally an enterprise fund.
Okay, give us some common examples we'd recognize.
Oh, lots of them. Public utilities are a big one. Water, electricity, also public hospitals, maybe airports, toll roads, public parking lots, even things like city-run golf courses or lotteries sometimes.
Right, things where you pay a specific fee for a specific service.
Exactly. Their operating revenue is primarily those charges for services. They might also have non-operating revenue like interest income, maybe some shared taxes like gas tax for a transit system.
And expenses are similar, payroll, supplies, depreciation on their assets.
Correct. Classified by object, just like you said.
Are there any accounting quirks specific to enterprise funds we should know about?
A few things. Revenue is often shown net of any discounts. And interestingly, they don't usually record bad debt expense like a private company might for unpaid bills.
Okay. What else?
Capital contributions are a big one. If the government or another entity gives assets or money specifically for capital purposes like building a new water plant that's reported separately after non-operating items. There's actually a mnemonic some accountants use to remember the order on the income statement. INCASE.
INCASE. What's that stand for?
Income operating, non-operating revenues, expenses, capital contributions, additions to endowments, special items, extraordinary items, and transfers. Helps keep the flow right.
Handy. And how do these get started? Similar to internal service funds.
Often through those capital contributions we just mentioned, or by issuing their own debt, like revenue bonds, that they plan to pay back from their operating revenues.
Okay. Any other unique areas?
Well, municipal landfills are an interesting case. There are specific rules, GASB 18, about accounting for the future costs of closing the landfill and monitoring it afterwards.
Ah, so they have to estimate those costs way in advance.
Yes, and recognize a portion of that cost each year based on how much landfill capacity was used. It includes things like capping the landfill, monitoring gas, all that post-closure care.
Wow, okay, that's quite specific.
It is. It ensures the costs are matched to the period the landfill's actually operating.
So, boiling it down, internal service funds are the government's internal support shops, paid for by other departments.
Right.
And enterprise funds are the government's business-like operations serving us, the public, aiming to cover their own costs through fees.
You've got it. Understanding the distinction really helps you see how different public services are funded and managed financially.
Absolutely. So maybe the next time you pay your water bill or ride the bus, you can think about whether it's likely run as an enterprise fund.
Yeah, and how that might affect its operations or funding decisions.
It definitely gives you a different lens to view the efficiency and funding of services in your own community. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.